Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Coaches Co-Creating. And this is episode 34. My name's Amanda, and I'm an inner calm coach for high achieving women in business.
And my name's Jasmine, and I'm a coach for teens and young adults.
Now, today we're going to talk about something which I was quite active about on social media last week, and that's boundaries. And so, Jasmine, do you want to start us off by just saying what you think your boundaries are, or what they mean to you?
Boundaries, yeah, that's actually a very good question. I guess for me, boundaries is like I feel like I have like my own. I don't know. This is going to sound crazy, like an aura around me, like a protection around me. Yeah,
Yeah.
like my space that keeps me safe. I feel comfortable, and I'm in control of that maybe. But then somebody could come in and maybe they step on my boundaries. Maybe they go through that space without maybe asking me, or maybe they offend me. But they go through that space without respecting me, and then I would probably feel uncomfortable. And then I know somebody has pushed my boundaries or disrespected my boundaries.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty similar. I just think, with your boundaries, it's more about what you will and won't tolerate. So it's
Yes.
it's what people and we almost take responsibility for this. Our own boundaries are our own responsibility, and we need to assert them and be very clear about what they are. So my first rule about boundaries, about saying no, in fact, is be clear what you want. And one of the mistakes I made in my business early on was that I didn't assert my boundaries. And so people were walking all over me. I was running around at all hours of the day, sort of servicing whatever the customer wanted. It was like early morning, late at night, and same with the employees. My employees were ringing me late at night, so they weren't coming to work the next day. And if I'd have at least at the beginning said, right, I do not want any communication between the hours of, or I could have just said, between 9 and 6 p.m. I am available. 9 a.m., 6
Yeah.
p.m. I'm available to be
Yeah.
spoken to. But after that, no. But I
Yeah.
didn't. I
Yeah.
just allowed it. And so you have to be careful about what you're permitting.
Yeah. I think that's a really good point, actually, because you can't expect other people to understand what your boundaries are, because everybody has different set of boundaries, don't they? So
That's so
I
true.
think you're
Yeah.
right. Communication is absolute key. But it's hard to do that sometimes when you first meet somebody. I guess it depends on the setting, like at work, or
But that
because
that
sometimes,
is it.
yeah,
That is precisely when you should do it, though.
you're right. You're
Because the
right.
minute they
It's too,
start to tread on
yeah.
your boundaries, or sort of in a way that you're not comfortable with, that's the point where you say, hold on one second, I just need to say, I don't like that, or that's not what I want, or
Mm.
could you just
Yeah.
can we just have a conversation about this? But I
Yeah.
think you and I are very similar, is we're probably more likely to acquiesce to it, to let it happen, and then think, didn't want
And then
that to
avoid,
happen.
and then run away somewhere and don't ever see them
Yeah.
again. Yeah.
Yeah, which is poor, really, isn't it? You do need to sort of be, and there is that fear around being assertive, but it's one of the things that I would work with my clients is say, write down what you will not negotiate on. What are your non-negotiables? What will
Oh,
you
I love
not
that.
compromise on? And so then you get very clear about what it is that you will and won't
Mm.
tolerate.
But sometimes you don't know until it happens. And then you
No,
think,
it's very
okay,
true.
this is one that I can't tolerate. So sometimes you do have to live through the experience. Yeah, you have to live through
Sometimes
it.
it is that. Sometimes, you might have a kickback when you think, oh, I can't be doing this. But actually, if that's your first experience of it, sometimes you might want to say, right, okay, I didn't like that to start with, but it may well be that it's necessary because of X, Y, Z, and so I'll see what it goes like. But at the same time, you could still say to whoever's involved in that thing, I'm not comfortable, but let's just see how this goes.
Mm. Do you think you always
So
have to communicate it? Because sometimes with me, when somebody's pushed my boundaries, I've just like maybe I thought they were somebody else or something like that, and they've pushed my boundaries, they've upset me. But instead of having a conversation with them, I've kind of just put them in a different place in my head. It's like, okay, I thought they were this person, but they're this person. So I've just put them somewhere else. So I have completely different expectations of them. Is that sort of, or do you think because
yeah,
you
but
don't always want to confront people, do you?
no, you don't. But sometimes it may be better for you to ascertain whether or not what's going on for them, because it's never about you. Let's face it, whatever anybody else does and their actions, it's usually about them.
Yes,
That's be honest.
you're right.
So it may well be that they're just having an off day. So it seems a bit unfair that you would box them
Oh,
into a
right.
category where maybe one day they were, so yeah. And I think that there's a lot of ways we can deal with it, but I would always advocate communication,
You're right. You're
whether it's
right.
hard or not.
Yeah. And I guess the more you do communicate this, it's all about expressing
Mm,
your feelings again, isn't it? The more comfortable
mm,
you become, and it doesn't become a big deal. You just say it, it's out there, it's finished, it's done. You don't have to go on about it. It doesn't have to turn into something uncomfortable.
yeah.
Even if it is
And
uncomfortable, we're learning, aren't we? You're right, actually. You shouldn't avoid us. Yeah, shouldn't avoid.
and it's also just remembering that it's not, you're not trying to be personal about it. It's about you. It's about your boundaries being
Mm,
respected, not you're not sort of rejecting that person. You're just saying, look, this is
yes,
how I
good
would
point.
rather it be.
That's a good point. Well, we're going to talk
Yeah,
more about this on LinkedIn on your page, aren't we?
we are. We are indeed on my newsfeed. So yes, please join us if you can. And yeah, there's a link in the bio for my LinkedIn profile. So, and we will see you next week on here.
Yeah, see you later. Bye.
Okay, bye bye.